What's up, everybody? How you doing? Are we getting set for a little bit of a reset to the downside that's going to scare some people before the market absolutely rips to the upside, hitting that launch pad that we have identified there, right there on that chart? Or are we going to actually, sustain where we're at and just push higher from here? There's so much on the table. We're about to get going here in just a moment. I want everybody, if you're live right now, if you're here before the show starts, hit that like button, show some love, retweet the space, retweet the post of this from the Academy BitLab Twitter page or the @KellyKellum page. Let's get into it. We got some charts to share. Let's go. What is up? How are you doing? How's everybody feeling? Looking at what's going on in the market right now, we might be seeing signs as we speak of getting that move from right here to this area right here. I don't care. The market doesn't care what you want. What we're seeing, if we look specifically just at the price structure, we can zoom in a bit. This does not look like it wants to, in the immediate term, continue up. Can it? Yes. But when we're looking at data, let's look at the basics of data. Looking here at the let's go to the, I don't know why my things moved here, but if we look at the basics here, double click on this, and I just want to note, I want you to notice something. Let's go ahead and move this up. When we're looking at the price action, we can remove that, remove this, and okay, so what do we see here? What we see here is a price action pushing to the upside. High, higher high, higher high. What do we see from the same point? Option V, right here, option V, from that point to this point right here. What trend are we noticing? Price action pushing higher, while at the same moment, the RSI, the strength of these moves, is declining. And not only is it declining, it's no longer even meeting this trend line, getting quite a bit lower here. And look at this. We're starting to see those signs of that move to the downside. So if we're looking only at the price action itself, we're seeing the signals combined with the RSI that this is looking like it wants to make some move to the downside. The question is going to be, does this indicate that we're going to get the move all the way down here? This random area I just drew on the chart, well, it's not so random. In this case, we're looking at the zone right here. This found support, this chopped right in here, this rejected at the bottom side, and this does not even include what we're looking at right here when we look at the not the dominance, the Bitcoin CME futures, where you've got this gap right in the same trajectory. This is the same thing right here. The gap that is in this zone. So there's multiple indications. There's multiple indications with the price action itself, the reduced strength coming into this move, as well as not only the support and resistance, but the price gap that is right in this zone. This is why when we're looking at this and we see, where's that chart I just had? I don't know. When we're looking at the price action here, we know that we have this level on all kind of different charts suggesting, and on top of all that, it's a bit of a head and shoulders here, suggesting that we get to move to the downside. Now, the question is, do we get all the way down to that launch pad that we had identified, or does this have this target that actually doesn't quite meet it? It just kind of fakes out towards it, because when you have a bear trap, which is ultimately going to resolve in upside price action, you don't have to get as far down as the levels show, especially when you have a strengthening trend. And I've got some data. I've got some things. I got some stuff we have to share today. If you don't know who I am, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the family. My name is Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the BitLab Academy, where we share meaningful tools, resources, content, community, breakdowns of this market. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what is going on right now in this market, because we see Bitcoin is up over 7 days. All these coins are up. I mean, even XRP up over 28%. They had that speculative meeting with the SEC today. They got canceled, and immediately we're seeing a pretty large drop there. But we're also seeing a 2% down on Bitcoin, Ethereum down 1.7%. And this is going to be important because we've got to talk about what's going on with Ethereum right now, especially with all these spot ETFs launching next week. We got Cardano down 5.4% also. So it's not just XRP from the news. We're seeing broadly a little bit of a decline, but what do we just see in the majority of the market? I mean, we can look at it just simply on this chart. We've been seeing this uptrend, 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 uptrend. And what do we see in markets regularly? What do we watch for? We talked about it every day on this channel, but up, rise, retrace, continuation. This retrace is what messes everybody up. This is what transfers your money to somebody else. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to learn. We're going to educate ourselves. We're going to make sure we're looking at the proper data, because this may look simple. Oh, when this goes up, when it pulls back, I'm just going to buy right here and it's going to launch. If it was that easy, every single one of us would have $77 million or some ridiculous amount of money. But the emotions that get triggered in that retrace zone is what really messes people up, because essentially this is what we're in right now. When you look at this on the 3-day chart, look, rise, retrace, continuation. And this has chopped people out every step of the way. This is why it's so important to understand broadly what is going on in this market so that you do not fall victim to the emotions of the moment. And look at this. We're coming right into a level. We've had these levels marked out. I mean, this has been hitting like clockwork. I'm happy that the calls I've been making have been spot on over this last year. There's been maybe one or two that didn't do close to what I've called out, and there will be times when I have several missed calls. But in this case right now, we've been reading this chart, we've been reading these charts, this market, these different assets. We've been reading it like an absolute pro, and I'm happy that for every single one of you that has been here, tuned in, watching, participating in the community, making sure that you can take advantage of this. So let's go through some of the things we want to talk about today. Because I want to just remind you, I had this in the short that I put out this morning. This is a US dollar, the M2 money supply, 21.7 trillion. This is the speed at which money is being printed, devaluing everything that you own. I'm telling you, it's 3% inflation, while everywhere you go, you're spending anywhere from 20 to 40% more for all those goods and services. Well, this is what fixes that. This is the inflation. Yes, there is inflation on Bitcoin because you start with 0 Bitcoin and you get to 21 million, but it is on the sliding scale that is specifically outlined and programmed into every Bitcoin miner out there. Everybody agrees with the inflation schedule, and it's reducing over time. And why is it reducing? That's what that Bitcoin halving cycle is every 4 years. Every 210,000 blocks, you're reducing the amount of new Bitcoin being printed on each block, which is every 10 minutes, by half. Remember, some of you watch on a daily basis, and maybe you still don't know this. Maybe there's somebody new watching right now. So we got to make sure that we're sharing this data on a regular basis, because there is a finite, absolute fixed supply of 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be there. This is going to be important in some of the things we're going to be talking about today. This is going to make the demand affect the supply more and more. Why does that matter? Because that equation, the demand and the supply, is what is going to determine where Bitcoin's price can go. If you are bullish right now on this market, throw a 1 in chat. If you are a BitLab member on this channel, drop the bull in chat, drop the boom in chat, drop one of those emojis that you got if you're a member here on the channel. Big love to everybody that is here. We got a little smaller audience today, and that's okay. That means you're all the people that are true core members of this family. So big love to you, everybody. If we got 40 people here, you're all core members. We should have 40 likes. Every single one of you, hit that like button, show some love to the stream. Now, jumping back in here with what we are talking about today. What do we got? We got Donald Trump's considering JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon as Treasury Secretary. And this is the key pivotal point. He says he's changed his tune on Bitcoin. This would be an absolute one of the most bullish things, in conjunction with all the other ultra bullish things that we've seen over this last year. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next 6 months with the election cycle. And then if this new administration comes in, and if we get a fully supported Bitcoin administration, not just president, not just VP, but also basically Treasury Secretary and, some changes in the SEC. I mean, guys, it is so bullish what's going on right now. In fact, let me come back over here. I don't think I shared it. So let me kind of come right here because we also saw none other than, where is it at? None other than Jerome Powell says the U.S. makes big move on Bitcoin. What? Fed Chair Powell says Bitcoin has staying power as an asset class. So we're seeing it across the board of absolute ultra bullishness with some of these changes. Now, remember, the markets are moving. There's all these different news stories. But if we just look at the technicals, I've been sharing this since April 19th, talking about that 150-ish day sideways price action. What do we see? During every Bitcoin cycle, the first 150 days after the halving is boring or frustrating. Put it whatever adjective you want there. Almost everybody gets uninterested and leaves the space. We can see this as content creators on YouTube, on Twitter, on Rumble, on Kick, on Instagram. So sometimes you all will see this stream right now and you'll say, oh man, there's only 47 people watching. But there might be 600 or 1,000, 3,000, 40. It all adds up across all these different platforms that we stream on. But we look at these numbers, just like I look at TA on charts, we can see the interest correlated with the fear and greed and with the boringness or excitement of the market is directly reflected in the number of people engaging with content on crypto. People are bored right now. People are not engaging. That's why every one of you, if you hit that like button, show some love. It does help. But we are right now 89 days after the halving with almost no engagement, hype, or interest. With this absolute bullish information about everything going on with Jerome Powell, with Jamie Dimon, with JD Vance, with Donald Trump, with BlackRock, with ARK Invest, with the ETH spot ETFs, with the Bitcoin spot ETFs, inflows absolutely crushing, even after a little bit of a dip. And we're bored as we can be right now. Have patience and keep building during the boring times. Why? Because this is what we're looking at right here, 2016. These two moving averages, Golden Cross. This was right at that crux of where the parabola truly started. Didn't quite get there here, but even similarly, once this started rotating back up, this faster moving average, that's when we got the explosion. What do we see here? This rotated up back here, which would be akin to something like right here. But we're getting that Golden Cross. Is up only next because this is what it looks like. Understand this. This is where we're at. Consolidating, post-halving, near all-time high. We did overshoot it, but we have more capital channels now. We also have more education. We also have more awareness about what's going on. We also have stronger holders. Everything is so absolutely bullish right now on this asymmetric risk opportunity. Is there a chance for a huge drop? Sure there is. This is a market. This is an asset class. But when we look back to that first one we saw about that fixed supply, it doesn't matter to me where price goes in the near term, in the midterm, having a drop, because we see the effect of supply and the fact that we just added all these channels for new demand to come in. So let's be bullish here because we see where we're at. This is where we're at. What happened next? Boom. This is akin to what we saw right here. I mean, come on. You got to be kidding me here. All right. Now looking right here also, by the way, Quentin right here, if you're not following him, give him a follow at Quentin Francois, QUINTENFRANCOIS. I'll share that link. I'll share it here in the live chat. Make sure you give him a follow. I got him coming on Tuesday this next week. He and I sat and talked for about 2.5 hours in Brussels at the ECC conference, just talking markets, talking life balance, talking the corruptibility of people in the space for money and how some people have the world in the palm of their hands and just make absolutely destructively terrible decisions and lose everything of their own actions. Talking about how bullish we are with all these different data metrics. And he says right here, just a reminder, the biggest institutions cannot yet buy the Bitcoin ETFs, but soon Morgan Stanley will allow 15,000 brokers, which are registered investment advisors, to recommend Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. That's where we get that next wave to really get this impulse in this cycle. Now, will we start going up before this? Absolutely. We saw it here. We saw it here. We saw it here. And remember, in this cycle, 2016, 2017, there were 8 drops of between 26 to 40%. So when we see this setup, we see the cross coming. We're frustrated right now. And we forget that there's usually about, in the last 2 cycles, I dropped a chart. Let me come back over to it right here. I dropped a chart the other day outlining this specifically. Let me see if I can find it real quick because, I mean, guys, I cannot tell you how absolutely god-awfully, wonderfully bullish I am right now. It is somewhere right here. Boom. This is where we're at. We are at the exact spot we should be based on the last 2 cycles. Let me turn off my camera right here. This is a cycle we are in right here. Boom. We are a little high. We've come back down, exactly tapping where we should be. Now, this is what's next. The shape of this, we're not sure about at the moment, but we are on the cusp of making this happen. It just takes patience. We came up to the zone we talked about. Now, when we talk about where we're at right now on the price action, let me come back over to this chart right here, 2024 assets, BTC pairs. I think this is it. No, I don't know where it is. This is it right here. Boom. Pushing up into this zone. This is that zone we're watching for. We have the gap. We have, there you go. This is what I consider the launch pad. This is the launch pad if we do get this move to the downside, and we may not get all the way down into it. We may get, you may end up going just a little bit higher here. We may reverse just a little bit higher here, but the setup here with the bearish divergence, remember, we talked about this bearish divergence here on the RSI as this push up into this head and shoulders similar pattern that's formed, the roundingness, the money flow starting to round out. This isn't the end of the world. This is the beginning of the setup of a lifetime. If you can see it through the data versus being focused on, oh man, we're not at 65 anymore. No. Let's let this drop. Let's let the opportunity provide it to ourselves to do something in this regard, because it's not only the CME futures gap. We have this bounce, this chop zone, this rejection. So we have price action supporting the zone. We have a CME futures gap supporting the zone. We have bearish divergence suggesting we may be coming down. Now the question is going to be, with a massive bullish appetite, we may not get all the way down here and close this, but I do think that we're going to have some move down here in some fashion, maybe to this level right here, option J, maybe to this zone right here and reverse, because this in all fashions most likely is going to be a bear trap of some sort. The question is going to be, where do they come in? Where do the bulls come in and defend? If everybody's waiting on this zone, it makes sense that they reverse before this because of the lack of desire to close a short or to basically hedge their bets, ladder your entries through this zone. So we are setting up everybody so beautifully. Now, looking at this, we also see $7 trillion world's largest bank. ICBC says Bitcoin is much better than gold. We're seeing these things across the board now. Everybody, then they fight you. Now they join you. The join you stage is kind of starting to pepper in to this market. So if you are not bullish right now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you're looking at. Maybe part of it may be an indication that you're being a little too needy for this to go up in this moment. And maybe I'm not calling you out on that. We all want to make life-changing money in this market. Sometimes we just need to be a little bit more patient than we expected. I've been in this game for almost a decade, okay? I was trading traditional assets before I was in this. I toured internationally as a DJ, but one of the ways I was able to make my life work was I made good money as a DJ, but I was always doing online business. I was trading traditional markets. I had so many different irons in the fire. When I really got into crypto, I mean, I was very much in it, but when I really put all my chips on the table and moved on to this side as well with education and content as well. I mean, it took years to get there, but then also making the huge amount of money that I've made. And I've lost a lot of money early on as well. That's why I do this. People ask, why would you do this if you make money in this market? Because there's so much bad information out there. I figure, why not? If I'm participating in this market, I'm keeping myself in the know by breaking all this stuff down, making sure that all of you have meaningful tools, resources, content, community. That's what this is about. The more of you succeed, the faster this entire industry just absolutely melts faces. So let's melt some faces together. We see over 120,000 Bitcoin valued at approximately $7.2 billion have been withdrawn from crypto exchanges in the past 2 weeks. $7 billion. And everybody was worried because of Germany. Now everybody was worried because of Mt. Gox. You saw the video, the short that I put out yesterday. The impact, the amount of Mt. Gox money that's going to be dropped on the market is nominal comparatively with how much Bitcoin is in circulation, in addition to the fact that there's so much buying appetite, in addition to the fact that Mt. Gox money that Bitcoin that is being redistributed, it's getting redistributed to the very people that understood Bitcoin a decade ago. I don't expect them to sell 75% or 50%. There's going to be profit taking, but I think it's going to be nominal. I think it's more FUD than actual data. Now, when we talk about what's going on with Ethereum, Ethereum's uptrend persist in the midterm, in the near future? Well, if this upward trend if this upward trend in the taker buy versus sell ratio continues, it confirms a potential midterm bullish trend in the market. Now, I think this is likely to flip very quickly because I have high hopes for Ethereum over this market cycle. Now, by the way, Vatican Life, I agree with you there. AI will lead the bull with near, render, FET, Tau. I absolutely agree with that. But in the near future, I do expect that we'll likely get a little bit of a washout for Ethereum. And there's a number of reasons for that. One of them is right here. We see, am I reading this right? This is from our brother, Scott Melker, another friend of mine here in the space. Great content he's always putting out. Also, he used to be a DJ. Am I reading this right? Grayscale proposing a 2.5% fee structure when everyone else is around 0.2%. That's a massive difference, right? They crashed Bitcoin on the ETF launch with 1.5% fees on GBTC. Remember that rotation we were talking about of capital from GBTC into all these other Bitcoin spot ETFs? There's likely going to be a pretty damn big rotation of Ethereum as well, which could keep some persistent sort of rotation of capital sell, or I won't call it sell pressure, but a limiting weight on the market of just exploding immediately higher. We've been talking about this though. When we come over to Ethereum, we have to realize we are, regionally right at a resistance zone. You could say we've broken through it. Some would argue it's non-determinal that we've actually broken through it, or we're just at this known line. We're at this known trend line that's basically been in place. So, you could argue it comes all the way back here. September 2023 or October 2023. But this zone, boom, 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 we broke down. Why does it keep zooming in? We broke down and now we're back up in that zone, but we have all these Ethereum spot ETFs that could potentially be coming back to what's the word I'm looking for? Going live next in the matter of days. Where is it at? Right here. Just in 10 Ethereum ETFs launching next week. So if this is to be the case, and the Grayscale Ethereum Trust is going to rotate also over to an Ethereum ETF instead of a trust, then we have to pay attention to what happened here. Remember, we had this huge influx initially. This is the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and then a huge oscillation back to the downside. And we can't go back on this chart, but we saw a huge rotation. Remember, this used to be in like the 600,000s of Bitcoin. They're down to 272,000. I think we're going to see a similar story with Ethereum. So we have to prepare, all bullish as this is in the longer midterm into long-term time frame for Ethereum. There is a likelihood that we do get either a suppression, chop sideways, or a bit of a sell-off on the market. What do you all think? Everybody watching right now, what do you think Ethereum's price is going to do into the end of this month. If we have this going on next week, right, Tuesday, we have the Bitcoin conference going, I think, Thursday to Saturday or something. But then we have into the end of the month. Do you think Ethereum will be above 3,300 at the end of the month? Do you think the price will be testing somewhere down here in the low 3,000s? Do you think it's going to be much higher? Do you think it's going to be much lower? What do you think? Sufficient Enough says, do you think ETH will dip to 2,900 in the short term or less of a dip? I mean, 2,900, 3,000, that seems reasonable to me. We're going to have to see how this happens. If there's a massive push in the crypto market with upside buy pressure, generally, it probably will also help buoy the Ethereum price. If the price action is somewhat flat and we see a huge capital rotation out of Ethereum Trust on Grayscale into other, BlackRock, ARK, all these others, then I think that we have, stand to look for at least, minimum a move down on Ethereum. Let's go like this, boom, drag this out. Somewhere here, 3,200, because we also have this trend line right in here. If we lose that, then I do think we're going to be testing down to, I'd say, $3,000 area. Sufficient enough. That's where you do it. You don't have to have it go there, but you can have a buy order set in place to take advantage of it if it arrives. That's how you navigate this market. Now, when we go back over to, where was it at? I had a few other things. Yeah, looking at this, we are seeing a massive uptick in the buying pressure on these Bitcoin spot ETFs, and it went from 1,200 to 2,000, roughly 2,000, 4,000. We're getting a bit of a drop, and we can see this playing out right in here. There's a lot on the cards. There's a lot on the table. There's a lot of speculation about what is to come, what different pressures. Also, remember the Mt. Gox thing, although I don't think is as big of an impact as everybody thinks it is in this market, we still have to realize that I think that's like 62 or 70% of the Bitcoin has been redistributed to the Mt. Gox holders. However, it's like 6 to 12 days or 6 to 14 days before that actually becomes available to trade. So we do have to watch. Remember, it's the 18th right now. It's my dad's birthday. It's Deezy's birthday. My mom's birthday was yesterday. So a lot of birthdays this month. We're coming in towards the end of the month, and we got to pay attention on that 6 to 12 day metric. I think we still, even if we push higher from here, I do think we have a little bit, I think we're going to be within this range through the end of the month, the range that we are currently in on Bitcoin. If we come back up here to BLX, let me go to the daily chart. Remember, looking at this zone right here, we've got a massive bull flag, but I do think through the end of this month, even if we don't even have the drop, if we push up into here, I do think there's some work to be done into option V. That is the end of the month right there. That doesn't seem outlandish to think, oh, we're, still be within this, somewhere within this boundary. I think going into August, into September is when we really start to get that move to the upside. Tiggle Biddies says, happy birthday, Kellum family. Well, big love to you. Great new children's book, Billy Goat Tales, The Bridge to Bitcoin. Yeah, shout out to Billy Goat Tales. Great guys, what they're doing there. I'll be a featured guest on one of their podcasts for this second series that they're doing. And we're going to be doing that in August. So this is what we're paying attention to. Now, we can also see that holding Bitcoin has been profitable for over 98% of his existence. These people that are getting wrecked, I've been wrecked. I was being a jackass with my money. If you've been wrecked, honestly, tell yourself, look in the mirror. You can say, I was a jackass with my money. It's nobody's fault. It's either your lack of strategy or your lack of risk management. So what we're looking at right now is the opportunity of a lifetime because of this data that we talked about, this crossing, because of this, what's coming up. But we can't be so blindly wanting to dominate 20x leverage so I can take this 20. That's not going to work. You got to be a little bit more patient. I do want to say, but we're going to jump in and do some TA here in just a moment for a bunch of altcoins, some other things. I do want to shout out channel partners for trading CoinW right here. You can see it. The link is pinned in the comments. We've had three of you massively engaged people sign up so far. Doesn't cost you anything, but you get up to $30,500 in bonuses. Make sure you go create an account there. No VPN required, no KYC. You get spot, leverage, copy trading. There's so much in there. But the whole point of this is if you sign up with the CoinW account and get in there, deposit $100, up to $100 or more, I should say. I don't get it. It's your money. You get to trade with it. But by doing that, by signing up through our link, you can't just have CoinW. Sign up through our link. You're helping support this channel. And you'll also, if you have $100 or more in that account, you're going to be able to participate in our basically live, private, live trading sessions where we go through setups together. We take trades and we get in there and make money in this market so that we can dominate this part, which is the most profitable part of the market to trade when you have a strong, dominant trend like this that's breaking out. So use that link up there. It's pinned in the comments. I also just posted it. I'll post it again right now. There's that link. Use that link, sign up. No KYC, no VPN. Doesn't matter where you're at. Deposit $100. You're going to get access. Now, let's talk about some altcoins because the market is about to absolutely rip for altcoins to the upside. What happened to Blowfin? We still have we still have a partnership with them, but we're doing BitLab's doing a special partnership with CoinW, doing these live trading sessions, and it's just moving this channel forward. Because remember, we're all independent businesses. Discover Crypto, Blockchain Basement, BitLab Academy, and we all work together as a as a group. But we all are financially independent in how we run everything. So sign up with that. Help support the channel. But we got to talk about these altcoins. We got to talk about what's going on. What's up?
Cupcakes. I'll save you one. Should I bring it on camera?
Yeah, bring it on camera. We're getting a special delivery here in just a moment. Can you guys guess what it'll be? I'm sure you probably heard it on the thing. But we got to talk about this right here. Well, here we are. The total 3 market cap. We got this pretty large, you can't see it. We got this pretty large resistance level that we might be coming into soon. But more importantly, we've got this massive, beautiful setup, cup and handle on the entire total 3 market cap. And when we look at this, if we measure this zone right here, I just want you to notice something. We measure this just like this. Drop this straight up here. We can be conservative. This suggests that we are going to get on the total 3 a move that is, a move that's going to be, we don't even need to measure it, up into the nearly $2 trillion mark for everything outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this is going to represent 10x, 20x, 100x, 1000x moves. It's going to be a variety on these altcoins, but it's also going to include some coin failures, some coin hacks, some coins that don't perform at all. Remember, this is an index of everything. So when we're looking at coins like Stacks, which is newer on the market, since last cycle, and we see this, pushing up to a beautiful sort of rise, retrace, continuation, retrace, and then what do we got? Here it is. Cupcake time. This is a birthday boy. Wait, are you going to feed me a cupcake live on air?
This is graham cracker with strawberry slivers with a berry filling with a cream cheese crust or topping, icing.
Oh, at least it's not a cream filling coming from DZ. Dude, I'm going to eat this right now. Oh, yeah. There it is. Shout out. Thank you, brother. Man, that's so good. That's so good. That just threw off my flow, but that's okay because that's some good frosting. And I think his fiance made those because she can cook, let me tell you. But we see these rise, retrace, continuation, retrace. And when you look at what's happening on Stacks on the macro, everybody's like, why isn't it performing? Let the chart, let the asset do the work. And if you are, oh man, there we go. And when you see this coming down into this zone, this is, obviously a little janky there, but it's coming down into this zone. We had this, potential rollover. We got it. We're pushing up. This doesn't mean it's going to set to go up. This may reject and come back down here, but we are regionally in the area for Stacks. And remember with Stacks, everybody, Remember with stacks, it is part of that BRC20, that Bitcoin layer 2 narrative that has not yet popped. And when it does, and I think very much so that it will, I doubled up my stack position last week or something, and it was right before it took a pretty large move to the upside. See right here, I think we had about 2,300 or something like that dollars in stacks or something. Now we've got 7,000 because it also made some move. This is all time. So let's do, can we do 7-day change? So yeah, I'm up 12% on this since I went in. I went in on Sunday, so 4 days ago. Let's look at where that is on the chart. Boom, boom, boom. So let's go to the daily. This was Saturday, it was this right here, this line. Sunday, this is where I bought in. Boom, it pushed up. Why did I buy there? Because I knew I wasn't confident it was going to come all the way down to this trend line. And, we see that this basically formed this large drop, V-shaped recovery, and it came right into a zone. If we go down to the 4 hour, you'll see a lot more clarity here. Now you see on the 4 hour, breakdown, W formation, comes back up, rejects, comes down, and now the bulls are so I got in right here, boom, pushed up. Now, what we'd like to see on the very bullish case is for stacks to come down and reverse somewhere in here. And what do we see? What support do we have for that? We have the order block that's right in here. We have this descending trend line right here, which was previous resistance. We haven't yet tested it to flip it to support. So this would be a great area anywhere in here to basically take a position if it's long-term. If you're trading, then you could take a position, and we're going to be doing this a lot more trading content, again, in those live trading sessions. But what you do here is you come in here and you look at this, you say, okay, this could come down into this zone. So I'm going to, basically do a buy somewhere in here, $1.75, and then potentially also right in this zone right here, creating a short, a little bit of a, what's it called? What's the word called? I can't remember the name of the word. The risk management tool, limit, stop loss. There you go. You basically measure out your zones here. If you're going to take an entry somewhere in here, I would move the stop loss somewhere into about where this order block is right in here. It's about 1.8%. And, the target on this would be obviously much higher. This way, if you take this entry and it fails, you get exited out and you lose a very minimal amount of money. This way you're safe. But then on this, if this does push to the upside, then you can move your stop loss up along the way, especially if you come up here and have some trouble here again. You essentially move your stop loss somewhere in this region, something like that. So, and we're, again, going to be breaking that down so much deeper on the actual smaller time frame trading stuff in those live trading sessions. So hit that link that is in there in that live chat right now. I'm putting it back in there. Did I put the right thing? Yeah. Use that to log in to create an account and deposit $100. Those live trading sessions are starting. I'm getting those some material ready for those. Now we also see near. A lot of coins are suggesting, and we talked about this. I mean, look at this. I drew this nearly perfectly yesterday. The question is going to be on near. Are we going to come down and test this zone right here and bounce somewhere in here? It's all going to be a little bit dependent on what Bitcoin does. If this does have a washout down here to $60,000, we're going to see some spillage, some little baby dumpage, some bear traps throughout the entire space. So don't get wrecked. Maker, which we have not talked about much, which is a great asset in the crypto ecosystem. We see this all. This is the same pattern we're seeing on all, on all these. The roundingness, the loss of this level. Are we going to watch for a move into this zone? Why the zone? Bounce, rejection, rejection, rejection. Look at this, hesitation. Order block. We have like 7 different things suggesting that this is an area we need to pay attention to. So if Maker comes down to the zone, it might be a good opportunity to buy. But we have to pay attention to the fact that we have this larger trend line that never got tested. So this is a ladder opportunity, meaning if you're a long-term player, you can add some of this, this position, but leave some on the table so you can also take advantage of this does come all the way back down and test this next order block, which also would be an actual flip of this previous resistance to support. Go short, sell it, dump it to 60, big red candle forming soon. Get the train or lose the change. Well, you know what? We'll see. I do think we're going to probably get a little bit of a washout because things are so bullish in the market right now. And there's still this capital is getting distributed. Everybody's not really sure what's going to go on with the dumpage from these other players. Same thing here. Injective, boom, coming up to the zone. We're sitting now currently holding this order block zone that we just established, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Injective come down to about 24, 23, this zone right in here, about $23, $24. Avalanche. I mean, just washing. Look at this. Just chop out, chop down, chop up, spring to the downside. It's almost like a Wyckoff accumulation. And then a little bit of stuff right here. This is looking like it wants to potentially, I almost feel like it could be a little bit of a fake out, but it wants to move down a touch. But we're watching for a move up into this zone. One more move to the downside, and then that test to the upside for Avalanche. Why? Why isn't it just going to go up? Because it doesn't just do this and just go up. It's going to want to get you, everybody committed long, and then you get scared back out, and then it's the release of all that tension to the upside. Fetch, we have not looked at Fetch in a little bit. Fetch, you know, it's that one of RWA, the AI play, also listed that it was in that Grayscale trust. I think, let me see, Altcoin Daily shared, actually, you know, here, Grayscale. I can never remember if it's RA. It is RA. So they announced this index yesterday. We're pleased to announce the launch of the newest private placement investment product, Grayscale Decentralized AI Fund, available to blah, blah, blah. And you got Near, Render, Filecoin. I cannot remember what LPT is. I looked it up yesterday. And BitTensor, Tau. But, you know, there's a lot of different things that are pushing towards AI. And even though Fetch is not included in this, I thought it was included in this, to be honest. Let me look deeper. Yeah, I guess not. Live Peer, that's what it was. But the AI narrative, especially with ASI, the merger from Fetch, Ocean, AGIX, you know, I'm not worried about this small low rollover. This comes down and gives us another opportunity at $1.26. Amazing. As the AI narrative kicks off and we start seeing deployment of utility from many of those things, we're going to see massive upside in a lot of these projects. So I'm okay with another sort of hesitation to the downside. Render's getting into a really nice position right now because it had this massive upswing from here. I mean, this is not a small move. Look at that, near 300% move. This was telegraphing to us that it wanted to come to the downside. Now, if we do a clean chart on this, let's look at a clean chart here. A clean chart on this shows that we also have a bit of a falling wedge there that is formed, and it's compressing now into this. So we have this order block zone directly below us that we've tapped into twice now. We have this descending support line that's down in here. I wouldn't be surprised if Render came down to this zone, 588, $6, somewhere in here, maybe a little lower. But for the super bullishness, what we want to see is for Render to actually have, because we did lose this trend line right in here. We want to see this wherever this rounds out to have a higher low from here, because this will be a true, like, this roundingness of the bottom and then work its way back up to this trend line over here and a breakout. Watching for that $7.30 sort of zone as a hesitation, maybe reversal, back down test, and then launch. All in all, this market, remember, is looking so damn, where's it at? So damn good. With the macro structure, this macro bull flag, the moving averages suggesting this very beautiful bullish cross with what it looks like once we break out of this accumulation zone. This is where we're at right now. And I want you to notice this breakout saw a pretty big drop back to test it. Another big breakout, another big drop back to test it with a little bit higher low and then we ultimately got that move to the upside. So when we're looking at everything going on here, we have to realize there's so much bullishness happening in this market. We do not want to get chopped out because we are being impatient. DOT. Let's look at DOT. Again, guys, I went to that Dakota conference in Brussels, the DOT ecosystem, and it was so amazing. Not only is DOT building in and expanding on their evolution with the DOT 2.0 upgrades that they're doing, but also seeing it in person at this conference. It wasn't just Polkadot talking. It was centrifuge and hydration, Hydrodex. And I mean, there was 100 different projects and protocols that are layer 2s or somehow parachains on a Polkadot. They were all there talking, coordinating, working, talking about what they're working to build together, in addition to DOT being that base layer that is working towards true interoperability and all the EVM compatibility they have and everything. They really are working hard to deliver some game-changing things within the ecosystem. Do not fade DOT. Also in this descending channel here, and we see this, we could have one more dip because we are seeing this right here break down. And what do we see right here? We get another sort of leg right here. If we lose this, I'm watching for this drop to actually be somewhere in the zone of these lows here, like a drop, fake out into this area, push up, and then a bit of a breakout. Because, I mean, DOT, we took a position in DOT, back when I started really looking into them about 2 months ago. And we are down a little bit, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that because what I see them doing, what they're building into, absolutely bullish. When we talk about adoption in this space, this ecosystem, crypto ecosystem, we can't have all these compartmentalized individual protocols that do not work together. And Polkadot's looking to change that, and they are. But we got so much bullishness going on right now. But everybody, I'm going to do a little bit shorter stream today because I got some stuff I have to do this afternoon. I do want to shout out, if you're trading in this space, if you're looking to build your future, make sure you're protecting your capital and protecting your future. Crypto, the best cold storage solution on the market. GetArculus.com. Use code LAB10 LAB10 for 10% off. I mean, honestly, the best cold storage solution out there. Head over to GetArculus.com. Again, thank you for being a channel partner, Arculus. And again, remember, use that code I provided you. Sign up with us here at CoinW. That link is pinned in the top of the live chat, and it's also down below the stream. When you're watching right here, I can show you. Remember, zoom down, click right here. Trade with us on CoinW. Click on this link, add $100. We're going to be putting those live trading sessions live very soon, and it's free to you. The $100 you're depositing is in your own account. We don't take that. It's just a mechanism to make sure that people that are trading with us have some money in their account so they can trade. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Remember, we are looking at potentially setting up this launchpad bounce. Let's get bullish. Let's stay bullish. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos. I'll see you tomorrow. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you. I just saw that there's a super chat. Can you take a look at Moonwell for me? Backed by Coinbase Ventures, by the way. Bluff City Breaks. I caught it. Let's go ahead and do it. I don't know what Moonwell's ticker is going to be. Moonwell. Is this it? Well on USDT. Moonwell, yeah. All right, so backed by Coinbase Ventures. Let's look at it. Man, this is massive sell-off, but then a lot of chopping here. This is probably, I'm guessing this is where I don't know, but I'm guessing this is where that information about Coinbase participating, this looks like it's in a massive bull flag right in here. There's a flagpole, there's a structure. Now, if we look at this like this, the breakout point from this, and this is newer, so I'm not saying this is just going to break out and go to this target, because this is a massive, let me double click here. This is a massive move. If this were to happen, this would take a move all the way up here. That's a 12x, 13x from here. Now, if this is a newer project, oh, you can't see it. If this is a newer project, and so can it get there? Sure. Is it going to break out of this and have just another flagpole up? Probably not. However, it will do the work to get there. If Coinbase Ventures is backing it, it means they believe in it. They have a lot of diligence in it. So I would be looking at potentially being very careful here, because if this does break down, I mean, we're kind of in a beautiful zone right now because we have these. Let me move this down a little bit. This is the zone I'll be watching for. We've already bounced at it. If we can hold in this zone, push up, and then start breaking out from here, I think this is, great play. I don't know anything about this project. I'm just looking on the technical level. This is very new, very susceptible to large movements in either direction, so be careful. But that's all I got. Thank you all so much. Bluff City Breaks, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I love you all. Thank you for your patience with me. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming.